my channel. Today's video is going to be a quick haul and I guess kind of swatches of a couple of products that I recently picked up at Ulta recently, as in like 30 minutes ago. So I really don't have that much like backstory slash info on the brand. All that I know is that it's originally a UK drugstore brand. I really wish I would have sat down and like looked stuff up first, but I was just really eager to sit down and film. So I basically went to Ulta, picked up dinner, ate dinner, and then now I'm sitting here filming this for you guys. It's probably around like 9 o'clock right now, but anyways, let's get into the products. I only picked up 4 products from the line. The standee, like I think it just got filled, I believe on Monday. I didn't know it was already there. The girl said that it pretty much wiped out instantly. A lot of the palettes were still there. Have I even told you guys the brand? It's Makeup Revolution. A lot of the palettes were still there. I was really wanting to pick up the highlighters, but there was only 1 out of the 3 left, and it was like the least desirable shade, at least for my skin tone. So it seemed like everything in the line at retail for around $5. I think the most expensive thing that I saw was $15, and that was a concealer palette, so everything was below $15. The very first thing that caught my eye was this here. This is the Salvation Velvet Lip Lacquer. I really wish I would have taken a picture, but honestly, it looked like someone stampeded that thing because the shelves were all falling off of the actual like shelving unit. Color-wise, there was a pretty good selection when it came to these lip lacquers. Unfortunately, a lot of the more like pinky beigey colors were sold out. There was a ton of like hot pinks, but I have so many of those colors. So I wanted to pick up a color that was a little bit different. This was, I believe, $5. Yes, $5. It says it goes on as a liquid and dries matte. Touch-proof and long-wearing intense color. So I picked mine up in the shade Vamp. Some of the colors look like there was kind of like an iridescent sheen to it. This is one that was a true cream, at least in the bottle. This was, I believe, the deepest shade in the line. Let's see. It doesn't have a scent, and texture-wise, at least just from applying it from the doe foot applicator to my hand, it feels like it's gonna be a lot like the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. I probably shouldn't say that though because I haven't put it on my lips. I really don't want to put it on my lips right now, but I will be doing kind of like a first impressions video or a getting ready with me video using these products, so definitely stay tuned for that. But I'm really happy with this color. I feel like it's the perfect color for fall. It's just a super rich blackened plum, and it definitely comes off as a solid cream. There's no shimmer in that whatsoever. So I'm really excited to see how this wears. In fact, I kind of want to swatch, let's see, like Copenhagen or something next to it. Actually, let's do Transylvania. No, that's going to be a lot darker. Okay, so here is the Makeup Revolution. We'll do Transylvania. Yeah, this is probably going to be the most similar. And as you can see, Transylvania actually goes on much more patchier, at least for a swatch on the hand. The NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams are either $4.99, which would make them even, or $5.99. I feel like the soft matte lip creams are $5.99 though. I know the butter glosses are $4.99. I could be wrong. So around the same price, but I don't know. From the swatch, it looks like this color is way more saturated. Okay, next up, I picked up one of their Vivid Baked bronzers. This was $6 and there were 3 shades available. The first one looked like it had the least amount of marbling in it. The second one, actually I don't think the second one was even there, but the picture of the second one looked like the one that I would really want and gravitate towards. It had more gold rather than this bronze in here. But the one I picked up was the deepest shade out of the 3, and it's called Rock On World. So this looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure if that's going to be an overspray. I just want to give you guys a close-up before I actually rub my fingers in it. But as you can see, it's mainly like a super rich kind of coppery bronze with gold marbling in it. I really hope that's not an overspray because this would be a super, super pretty bronzer. Definitely not for someone who has larger pores, because sometimes these products that have a lot of kind of like metallic or shimmer in it will definitely like accentuate any large pores you have on your cheeks. I'm gonna put my finger in this. I'm nervous. I don't want to like mess it up. Okay, it doesn't look like it is an overspray. It looks like it's gonna stay that color all the way throughout. But holy cow, that, as you can see, is super, super metallic. There's no chunks of glitter, which is super nice. It's just, can I say super anymore? Oh my gosh, that is a straight up copper. That's kind of like intimidating. This is a product that I would go in with a brush that's not dense, like something really light and fluffy, just to really dust on a nice like light wash of color, just to create a really warm glow. But I feel like this is something that would be amazing as a eyeshadow as well. And then the very last two products I picked up are both palettes. The only other palette that was like in this kind of packaging available was the Cover and Conceal. That was the product that was $15. I don't know, I'm always hesitant to buy concealers that come in palette form because I feel like those tend to dry out easier, and honestly I have a ton of concealers. Who am I kidding? I have a ton of bronzers and blushes too, but these just stood out to me. Along with these palettes, they also had eyebrow palettes in like 3 or 4 different shades, and then there was tons of different palettes. One that was like kind of similar to what a Morphe layout would look like, and then there were ones that were like Girl on Fire, all these random themes. But when I saw the picture of those, I don't know, unfortunately there wasn't any testers available, but just the picture on the back of the packaging just looked really kind of like cheap and cheesy, so I passed on those. But I picked up a bronzer palette. This one there was only 1 shade available. This is just the Ultra Bronze palette, all about bronze. And then I picked up this blush palette. This one is in Ultra Blush Palette Hot Spice. There was this one which is more of like a warmer orangey themed, at least it looks like from the picture here. And then there was one that was way more pink. I think that was like sweet sugar and spice, something like that, something to do with like sweet. And these both retail for $10. So you get the box right here. I guess black and rose gold is the brand's theme. And then inside you have the actual palette. So it's just like a black plastic, let's see, matte and shimmer blush. Okay, that's all it really says besides the ingredients. And then, oh, that's actually a really nice size mirror. So this would be something great to travel with because as you can see, you have a huge mirror. And then inside you have 8 blushes. These are the blush tones that I almost always tend to gravitate towards. Things that are like more kind of warm and orangey and peachy rather than like bright pinks. Okay, so here's a close-up of these products. These are the 2 baked ones right here. As you can see, this looks so pretty, but I'm really interested to see what this is. Oh no, that's actually really pretty. That comes off with a nice pearly sheen. And then we have this rosy one. Okay, so starting off on the very left on the top row, first off we have this really nice kind of warm peach color. These do feel soft, they don't feel chalky. However, these don't feel as pigmented as that bronzer that we just swatched, which would make sense because that's a baked product and those tend to be like a lot smoother and kind of creamier when it comes to pigmentation. Next up, I wish these had actual names. We have kind of this apricot shade and then more of a fun pinky peach shade. That one felt a little bit more crumbly compared to the rest. Okay, this one I was curious about. This baked highlighter shade. It feels kind of dry to the touch. I'll be curious to see how this actually transfers with a brush. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting a little bit more. I thought it was gonna come off much creamier than that. Okay, and then we have this kind of corally orange color with a bit of shimmer. That one is actually really pretty. And more of like a neutral dusty rose. Next up we have this lighter shade. These actually feel really similar to kind of like a BH Cosmetics blush palette. Finally we have this marbleized pinky blush here. Oh, that's pretty. I feel like that would be pretty as a blush topper. There are the quick swatches of these 8 blushes here. I don't know, I felt like I was kind of a tough critic. Maybe I shouldn't judge so much from just swatches because sometimes products that don't swatch as nicely go on better than what they actually swatch, and sometimes it's totally vice versa. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but swatch-wise, I don't know. This one didn't excite me as much as the bronzer did. Now let's check this guy out. I'm hoping this is gonna be nice. I don't know what my deal is lately. I have been so into bronzers and any product that's really gonna kind of like warm up your complexion. So same thing with packaging, comes in a little box. Packaging is exactly the same. And then in this one, okay, you get 3 shimmers, 3 matte, which is pretty nice, and then 2 baked. So far, just from first glance, if you guys are looking for like a contour palette and you see this, I wouldn't recommend it for contouring because as you can see, everything in here is incredibly warm. Typically when you contour, you want to go in with something more neutral or cool tone to create that actual shadowy effect. But if you're looking for something just to like bronze or warm up, it seems like this would be more ideal for that. So let's go ahead and see what some of these are like. Texture-wise, it's feeling a lot like the blush palette. That bronzer was actually almost too soft, it crumbled. This one looks like kind of a goldeny highlight. That I actually really like. This color right here I feel like would be nice as kind of like a blush topper, or just like if you guys watched my July favorites, whenever I use that BH Cosmetics blush brush just to kind of swirl in there and dust all over my cheeks to kind of use as like a blush, bronzer, and highlighter all in one. That seems like that would be great for that. Okay, and then going into the first one looks like something that I could almost just use as a setting powder. It's pretty light. Okay, the second one is actually really nice. It's very, very warm, but if you're into really matte, warm, orangey bronzers, that would be a pretty color. That would be pretty to use like in the crease as well. Okay, and then the very final shade we have here, oh, this comes off more of a neutral rather than like warm or cool. And then finally the two baked products. That's just like kind of a really light golden shimmery bronzer, and then the one on the bottom, I don't know, I was expecting for them to be baked. I thought they'd offer a lot more kind of like a sheen or glow like how the Vivid bronzer did. I don't know, I was really hoping that this would be something you could use as a highlighter. You definitely could use it as a highlighter, but it would be a very, very natural one. It doesn't look like it offers much glow, but like I said, I really still have to go in and apply these on my face with a brush to really put them to the test. So I'll definitely try these out more, like either, like I said, in a get ready with me video or first impressions like on my face before I take them back. I don't know, because I'm not gonna lie, that bronzer, just from swatching on my arm, I'm not completely sold on it. But, and I hate taking things back, but it's like if I'm not gonna love it, then I don't wanna keep it either. So I don't know, like I said, we'll just have to see how it goes on my face. Those are the 4 products that I picked up from Makeup Revolution. It's still a pretty new line at Ulta, but if you guys happen to have any recommendations from the line or like must-haves, be sure to comment down below and let me know. And yeah, if you guys would like to see more of these kind of like haul slash quick type videos, give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!